Let's get going. Okay, get yourself ready for your practice. So sit yourself onto your left. Oh, I have to kick the microphone. Sit yourself onto your left. Just come into a good cross-legged position. So just have a little wriggle about. Hold onto your knees and lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just observe for a moment the feeling of warmth. So it might not necessarily be warm where you are, if depending on what time of year you're doing this session, if you're doing the recorded session, but it's warm in the UK, and the warmth from just the sun feels different to warmth from central heating, I think. Just observe that feeling on your skin, just of the natural ambient warmth. So it's not warmth that has been created by either fossil fuels or just a way of consciously warming the room up. It's just the warmth of the environment, and that feels different. So allow the body to engage with that warmth. Just soak it into the skin, keeping your eyes still in the sockets, just listening to the breath. Just feeling the ambient warmth penetrating into your skin and your flesh and into your muscles. Just spend a moment to acknowledge whether you are sitting evenly with genuine levelness. Just adjust if you need to. And then release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, press the palms firmly together, lengthening the armpits into the elbows. So it's almost like you maximize the surface area for contact with the ambient warmth that surrounds you. Have the hands away from the body so that there's greater air circulation around the physical body. And then with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. Emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom, bringing in the energy of the universe. So as we inhale, we breathe into our lungs, and the air in the lungs inflates the lungs. And the oxygen in the lungs, some of that permeates the lung lining and moves into the blood. And then our heart pumps the fully oxygenated blood around the physical body, maximizing the functioning of each individual living cell of the physical body. Being conscious of the ambient warmth of the oxygen that surrounds us as the oxygen touches the skin. Just be conscious of the life force that supports us. The air that we breathe, we would last maybe a minute without it, probably not even that long. So just acknowledging our place on the planet is a useful way to really engage with the benefits of planet drawn into the physical body. So if we inhale more deeply, we consciously inhale more air, more oxygen, more prana. And that life force supports us. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Draw your shoulders away from your ears so that you lengthen out the back of your neck. Lift the chest up to meet the chin. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, thankfulness pulsing through the veins, and then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Connect the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence, and of peacefulness that we can carry into our practice. And with an exhalation, raise your head, allow your eyes to gently open. Just feel the skin in contact with the air that surrounds you. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, take a deep inhalation. And then turn with an exhalation to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs, your shoulders. Using each exhalation to intensify the turn a little more. Using each inhalation just to acknowledge the energy that we bring into the physical body. So we inhale energy and we use the out breath to convert that energy into power, into the pose. And then come back to the center. Take a really deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Taking full inhalations of energy and turning with an exhalation. And then gently come back to the centre. Come off your lift and just come onto your knees, sit back on your heels, have your knees apart. Just have a moment just to acknowledge the connection between the shins and the mat. Feel the skin in contact with the mat. Lift up into the chest and then come forward. Stretching forward and then bringing the forehead down. But try to maintain the connection between the seat bones and the heels, lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms, into the fingertips. Up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down, taking deep indulgent inhalations. Consciously using the out breath to power into the physical body. Activating the kneecaps, pressing them through to the backs of the knees, lifting the fronts of the thighs up to the tops of the legs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards so that you can pick up the seat bones a little more, lifting them to the ceiling. And then step your feet forwards, come up into the standing position. Get a couple of blocks for your hands. Bring your feet as wide apart as the mat, aligning the edge of your feet with the edge of the mat so that the toes are turning inwards. Just have your hands on your hips. Lift the heart area up to the ceiling. Feel how you can inhale more freely. Draw the elbows towards each other. Take a deep inhalation from the bottom of the lungs to the top. And with an exhalation, hinge at the hips, keeping the head lifted, keeping the back entirely straight, hinging at the hips. And then reach down to find the blocks. If the blocks are too low and it makes you do this, then maybe bring your hands onto the top of a chair or onto the top of a table. Just see if you can get your legs to straighten. Lift the kneecaps, lift the thighs, the frontal thighs up towards the crease of the groin, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. So there's this corkscrew action of the legs. The fronts of the legs turn inwards, and then around the back of the leg it turns outwards. Around the front of the leg it turns inwards, and then it's this corkscrew action of the legs. That helps you to loosen up the hips, and so that you can elevate the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing, even deep inhalations and exhalations. If your back is straight, if your legs are straight, and you feel that you can go down lower, then do. But be conscious of, if you've got a bad back, just stay at the higher lift. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Draw your focus into the experience of the physical body. Be in the body. So at the beginning, we brought the tips of the thumb and the index finger together as a gesture of wisdom. That is the ability to be honest with yourself in your pose. Physical intelligence, that is the ability to observe and to feel the body that the eyes can't see. To feel the body in 3 dimensions. And peacefulness, the consciousness that we're not here to punish the physical body. Sometimes in gyms you see people really punishing their body. We're here to connect with the physical body, not punish it. If you can go down lower, then go to the floor with your hands. If you can reach around the backs of your heels, drawing the body in, then do. But just be conscious of how that feels for your physical body. Maintain that consciousness and physical intelligence. Feel where the body is in 3 dimensions. Open the backs of the legs by pushing the fronts of the legs towards them. So you might need to bend your knees to find the floor. If you do, then that's fine. Walk your hands towards the end of your mat. Have your hands shoulder width apart. Step your feet hip width apart. And come up into dog down. Maintain the feeling of energetic lightness from the air that you inhale. The air that penetrates the skin, the ambient warmth that penetrates the skin. Maybe there is internal warmth that you can feel radiating outwards. So we engage with the warmth of the ambient air around us, and we return warmth from the inner core out into the room. So we radiate that energy as much as we absorb it. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into the standing position, and then come into Tadasana. So the inner edge of your feet together. Turn the fronts of the legs inwards, tighten the kneecaps so the fronts of the legs rotate inwards like they were doing in Uttanasana, in dog down. Tuck the tailbone in, rather than in Uttanasana we were sticking the tailbone up to the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone in. Draw the abdomen to the spine, draw the lower ribs towards the spine. Lift the heart area up to the ceiling, lengthen the shoulders away from your ears down into the fingertips. Stretch your neck out of the shoulders and up into the head. Just feel the body in 3 dimensions. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet apart for trikonasana. Turn the right toes in, turn the left toes in slightly, the right leg and foot all the way out, and then come down into trikonasana. Rotate the legs in the opposite direction to Tadasana. Turn the fronts of the legs outwards rather than inwards to accommodate the hips. If you can look up, then do. Absorb the energy of the environment by drawing in deep inhalations from the bottom of the lungs to the top. And back to the centre. Swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out, and then rotate the legs from the outside in. So from the inside out, and then come over and find the shin. Just feel the body in 3 dimensions. Just align the hips with the heel of the front foot. Bring your weight into the outside edge of the back foot by turning that leg out slightly. Breathe deep inhalations and exhalations. Absorbing the energy of the breath and the ambient warmth around you. Come back to the centre, bring your feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together, come back into Tadasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just feel the physical body full of energy through the breath and through the ambient warmth around you. Just listen to the breath. So take a couple of blocks and put them at the far end of on the right hand side of your mat, and then come back into Tadasana. So you're going to go into parsvottanasana. Come back into Tadasana when you're ready. And then bring your arms nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide with the legs. Turn the left toes in more steeply than you do for trikonasana, and then turn the right leg all the way out. So it's Tadasana legs. The legs rotate inwards. Pick up the heel of the back leg and turn that leg all the way out, so that the hips have got a chance of coming level. So we turn the fronts of the legs inwards like Tadasana. Bring your hands onto your hips. Do they feel level? If this back leg hip feels further back than this front leg hip, then turn that leg a bit more. Turn the leg. Rotate the outer leg. Remember that corkscrew action. Turning the front of the leg inwards, The back of the leg turns outwards. Ideally the heels are in line with each other, but you can go a little wider if need be. Lift up into the chest. Keep that back leg dead straight. And then hinge at the hips. And then reach down and find the blocks. So if you discover your heels are in the wrong place, then you can use this time to adjust. That's why I felt a bit wobbly. My feet weren't in the right place. So keep turning the fronts of the legs inwards. Keep turning the fronts of the legs inwards. Feel that your hips are level. Project the chin and the chest forwards. If you can go down lower onto the blocks, then do, but stay on fingertips. If you can reach all the way down to the floor, then do. Projecting the chest and the torso away from the legs. Just feel that those hips feel level. If this top leg feels higher than the front leg hip, then again, just rotate that back leg inwards a little more. Just be in the pose, filling the body with air. If you can keep coming forwards, walking your hands towards the back leg. Keeping the head lifted initially until the chest makes contact with the shin. And then you can bring your head towards the leg. But keeping the back straight, keeping the legs straight, especially that back leg. Feel the energy in the bones radiating into the muscles. Feel the ambient warmth penetrating into the skin and the flesh. Bring your hands forwards if they were walking back. And then bend the front leg, hop in with the back leg. And then come up into Tadasana. Take the blocks over to the other side of your mat. And then come into Tadasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel how the body feels different. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. Turn the right toes in steeply and the left leg and foot all the way out, and then turn the back heel all the way out. So then you've got a much better chance of bringing the hips level. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area, turning the legs inwards so that this back leg hip sweeps across. Bringing the hips in line and then reach forwards. Reach forwards, relying on that back leg to give you the balance. Keeping that back leg straight. So straighten the leg, so straighten that front leg cat. Tighten the kneecap of that front leg if you can, and then lengthen the chin and the chest forwards. Keep the head lifted, head looking forwards, chin looking forwards. So this might be good for you, or you might want to go a little more deeply into the pose. Find just bring the blocks onto a lower edge, or bring your hands down onto the floor. But do that without doing this, without rounding the back. So feel that you can really rely on that back leg to do all of the work, or most of the work, in bringing the spine into full firm action. Maybe start walking the hands back, but feel that your form is correct, that the pose feels right before you go down any further. Project into the hip, into the chin and the chest. So observe that it feels different on this side to the other. Feel that the hips are level. It's only when the hips are level that you can really truly extend into the spine. Okay, bring the hands to the front foot. Bend that front leg. You might want to step forwards or bring the hands down onto the floor and then step back into dog down. So you can come into dog down from the floor if you stepped forwards out of parsvottanasana, or if you can step back, then do. Just do whatever feels right for you. Corkscrewing the legs, this time turning them inwards again. So parsvottanasana legs, tadasana legs, turning the fronts of the legs inwards so that the backs of the legs broaden outwards so that you can pick up the seat bones and the hip and the tailbone. Engage with the ambient warmth. Engage with the effervescence of the oxygen within the air. Okay, come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels. And just observe the energy that you have released so far through your practice. Feel the shins in contact with the mat. Listen to the breath. And then come forwards into Adho Mukha virasana. Turning the tailbone in, lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, the fingernails. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up into a seated position. And then I want you to just come down into a cross-leg position and just spend a moment just finding levelness. Sit on a lift if you need to, or you can just sit directly on the floor in half padmasana or swastikasana, whichever feels most comfortable. Swastikasana is just normal cross legs. Just adjust the buttock flesh so that you're sitting genuinely evenly. Lift up into the chest. Just feel the chest elevating up to the sky, and then draw your chin forwards, and bring it down to make contact with the chest. Jalandhara Bandha. Try and create a genuine lock or connection between the seat bones and the heels. If you not seat bones and heels, what I'm talking about, the chin and the chest. If you can't make that connection, then just put something like an eye pillow or a rolled up pair of socks between the chin and the chest, so that you've got that genuine connection. So Jalandhara Bandha is an energy lock. The other energy lock that's really useful to use at this stage is Mula Bandha, lifting the anal sphincter upwards towards the navel and the diaphragm region. So Jalandhara Bandha and Mula Bandha just help us to hold on to our energy from the breath. So spend a little time just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, and allowing the energy of the breath to overflow from the top of the lungs and into the arms and the chest and the legs. The out breath is just a normal exhalation from the top of the lungs to the bottom. Maintaining Mula Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha. Engaging with the energy of the breath, feeling the energy of the air on the skin. Feel how that energy of the breath penetrates into the blood and into the muscles and joints, and the organs, including the flesh and the skin. Feel that internal warmth radiating outwards. Warmth radiating inwards. In an interaction that helps us to maintain our perfect temperature. And then release Mula Bandha, release Jalandhara Bandha, and then raise your head. Just allow the body to grow out of the hips, the torso to lengthen out of the hips like a seed growing out of the earth towards the sun. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees. Lift up into the chest with an inhalation, and then turn to the left with the exhalation. Just feel the warmth penetrating the skin, the warmth radiating from the core of the body. Come back to the center. Let's get a couple of blocks, one either side of the hips for sukhasana. Lift up into the chest, reach underneath the right knee, bring the elbow in line with your shoulder down onto the block. Bring your left hand onto your hip, and then push that right elbow firmly into the block so that you can lengthen across and keep this left seat bone, pressing down into the floor. Turn the chest up to face the ceiling. Keep that left seat bone pressing firmly down, and then lift up and over. So working that left seat bone firmly into the floor, lengthening down into that left seat bone as much as you're reaching up into the left arm. Underneath the armpit, feel that tremendous stretch of the left side of the body. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. And then just reach underneath the left knee, bring the left elbow onto the block. Again, just making sure that that elbow is directly underneath the shoulder. Bring your right hand onto your hip. Push that left elbow really consciously into the block so that you can lengthen across from that left elbow. You're pushing the elbow almost outwards so that you can bring that right seat bone down more evenly. Turn the chest up to face the ceiling. Keep that right seat bone consciously pressing down, and then lengthen up with that right arm. Pressing that right seat bone down into the floor by consciously activating that left elbow. And then come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees. Take some deep inhalations, deep exhalations, just listening to the breath. Just engaging with that feeling of energy that we release through our practice. Okay, come down onto your back. Have a blanket for underneath your head, and then just lay yourself down along the floor. So just for a moment or two, just to give ourselves a gentle inversion, we're just going to hold onto the edges of the mat, bend the knees in towards the chest, and then raise the legs to the ceiling, just pushing the sacrum into the floor, lengthening up into the heels, turning the legs inwards like you're doing talasana. Taking in the energy of the universe into the lungs. Allowing the lungs to expand. Allowing the breath to be non-resistant. Because then we absorb more of the energy of the breath. So the breath in life is more essential than food and water. Of course, those are essential as well, but we can live without food for maybe a couple of weeks. If we had to, we could live without water for maybe just a couple of days, but we couldn't live without air for much longer than maybe even a minute. So we neglect the air's importance. We take it for granted that it's there. But if we engage with it, then we truly engage with our physical body and with our energy. If we value it, we value life itself. Just bend your knees, stretch your legs along the mat, just come up onto your elbows for a moment, make sure you're in a really good straight line. And then just allow your body to completely flop into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. And let the body pin itself to the floor. And let the body become heavy. Again, just acknowledging another of the universe's life forces of gravity. But when we allow the body to become heavy, when we release the muscles, and perhaps we can acknowledge that feeling of genuine effervescing energy, positive energy radiating from the bones, filling the muscles and the joints with vitality. Radiating from the bones into the muscles, into the organs. Including the flesh and the skin and the brain. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes, into the fingertips, into the legs and the arms, and up into the top of the head. Just allowing the body to bask in that feeling of energetic lightness. ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your knees in towards your chest, just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen, closing your eyes. Conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. Draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And release the backs of your hands down toward your knees. Palms facing upwards. Just a gesture of connecting the tip of the thumb and the index finger, just a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel like you're full of really good, positive energy, and you're full of good energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.